You're either going to go ahead or you're going to go backwards. There's no such thing as the middle ground. If you're ready to take control of your life, let's talk about how building the right habits can set you up for long-term success. From studying some of the most successful people, from Bob Proctor all the way to Grant Cardone, this is what I found to be the 3 core concepts for real growth. Concept 1, the myth of staying still, why life is always moving forward or backwards. You can consider life to be dynamic. There's no such thing as actually leveling out. Think of yourself like if you're standing on an escalator, but it's constantly going down. Even if you're not moving, it's still going down. So the only way to get ahead or even stay the same is to push forward. Recent psychology research has actually confirmed this principle as well. Our brains and bodies actually adapt based on what we repeatedly do or avoid. If we stop challenging ourselves, our skills, our resilience, even our mental health will start to decline. This goes back into the concept of neuroplasticity, so that could be used both for good and for bad. Studies on neuroplasticity show that the brain adapts to demands that are placed on it. So when you stop pushing yourself to grow, the brain's ability to develop new neural pathways actually weaken. Psychologists call this the use it or lose it principle, which is why consistent action is necessary for both personal and professional growth. Neuroplasticity is not just about how your brain can adapt to actually grow and improve your life as you get older, but it also shows that it can be used in a negative way as well. Growth is honestly a choice. Just like our muscles shrink if we don't use them, our mindset will deteriorate if we're not actually pushing forward. You have to make consistent daily efforts to maintain and expand your potential. Concept number 2, persistence, the power of consistency in building habits. Persistence is honestly the driving force in most people's success. Instead of waiting for motivation to appear, you actually need to rely on consistency. The simple act of just showing up day after day after day compounds over time and creates remarkable results. And let's just be clear, persistence does not mean perfection. It means putting in the work even when it's hard and especially when it's not exciting. Behavioral psychologists like Dr. Wendy Wood, who studies habit formation, found that the ability to perform tasks either automatically or effortlessly grows as you repeat the behavior consistently. Obviously, this makes sense. So it typically takes about 66 days for an action to become automatic, according to the research from the University College of London. And you can do something today to build this consistency. It could be something as simple as like every time you brush your teeth in the morning or night, then you use that time to just journal right after. Or if journaling is not your thing, you can start with something a little smaller or more manageable, like let's say 5 minutes a day right before you go to bed, you read, or even just something as simple as doing 10 push-ups a day. And you don't have to worry. You don't have to make it big right away. The key is to make it consistent. So it's something manageable that you can do day after day after day after day. And then once you've built that consistency, that's when you increase the difficulty. Think of this like a mental workout that grows stronger with each repetition. And the third concept that I wanted to cover is neuroplasticity and habit building, rewiring your brain for success. Every time you perform a task or think a certain way, you're actually shaping your brain. Positive habits are literally rewiring your brain, creating pathways that makes it easier to repeat those actions in the future. This is called neuroplasticity, and it's your brain's way of optimizing for efficiency. The more you practice a good habit, the easier it becomes to do without even thinking about it, and therefore becomes automatic. Neuroscience studies have shown that repeated actions strengthen the connections between the neurons in our brains. This process is called long-term potentiation. It's kind of like paving a road. The more you drive over it with the steamroller, it becomes smoother and easier to drive over and less bumpy and less friction. This is why habits eventually become automatic. You're actually kind of creating well-worn paths in your brain. A practical tip to help with your neuroplasticity is to honestly focus on just building one habit at a time, and that will take advantage of neuroplasticity. So if you're working on like starting your day with exercise, then commit to that one habit before you add another one. If your goal is to start reading 10 minutes every single night, do that. By concentrating on one behavior, you're allowing your brain to build a strong pathway before splitting your focus. So to sum everything up, number 1, growth requires movement. There's no neutral ground. You're either pushing forward or you're falling behind. 2, consistency over motivation. Persistence builds habits, and habits are the foundation of success. 3, rewire your brain for success. With neuroplasticity, every small action you repeat is literally reshaping your brain for the better. These three principles will give you a rock-solid foundation for sustainable growth. Start small and stay consistent, and remember that every positive action is a step forward, rewiring your brain for the success that you're actually after. Fellas, if you need help with consistency, accountability, and building stronger habits, we got a community called Man Up Mindset. Click the link in the description. Wish y'all nothing but success. Peace.